What's up? Back. Man, just sweat to death. Absolutely sweat to death sitting at Starbucks, sitting outside with my podcast for Grant Baldwin. That's right, Grant. I endured the Texas heat and humidity to podcast with you, so we had no background noise. But no, it was awesome. I wanted to share a little bit about it because it was a coaching call / podcast interview, and I think a lot of people can relate to the idea of starting fresh and starting over. And speaking, getting ramped up, getting moving sucks. It absolutely sucks because you're emailing and contacting and reaching out to people and not getting any responses. It's like any sales job. You're outreach. You're just trying to get a little momentum. You book a speech here, and then you wait a little while longer, and then you finally book another one and another one. It's a slow build. And especially in social media in today's world, you see everyone out there. If you're a speaker, you obviously are connected with other speakers. You see everyone else out on stages, and you want to be there every other day. And it just doesn't work that way. Like, you've got to get slowly going and building momentum and ramping up. And it takes time. And so Grant and I were talking about that and the frustrations that you go through and banging your head against the wall, feeling like you're not making any traction, and how that whole process goes. And we laugh because we talked about, like, you have to go through that. Like, you have to do the outreach. You have to do the grind, the monotony, the easy things to do that not everyone will do. Just because it's easy doesn't mean everyone will do it. Everyone can, and not everyone will, though. And that's what separates greats. It's great speakers. They practice their craft. They get better. They work at it, but they outreach. They're constantly reaching out to people. They're constantly working their leads, following up, building those relationships. It's not a year one thing. It's a year 2, 3, 4, 5. And so a year and a half, it seems like forever for a lot of these people. 6 months of trying to get leads feels like forever for a lot of people. And in the course of 6 months feels like a long time. But if you flash forward 10 years from now and you're doing exactly what you want to do and you're in the place exactly where you want to be, 6 months is just a tiny, tiny blip on the map. Like, it's nothing at that point. And so you shouldn't be as stressed. If I told you 10 years from now, you're going to be doing everything you wanted, and all your goals are going to be met, and you're going to be living this best life, having crushed your goals, having do exactly what you want to do. But hey, you're going to take 6 months to a year of getting rejected, of dealing with no, and constantly hearing not interested, not you, not now. You would be okay with that because that's still 9+ years of you rocking it. But too often we get caught up in the 6 months, the year, the early grind. Tonight kicks off the NFL. So if you're watching this and it's not Thursday, we'll just say the NFL preseason just kicked off. And every year going into training camp, guys show up in shape. They're jacked, they're ready to go, they're sharp, they're ready to play. And every year guys show up out of shape, throwing up during practice. They are not ready for the workouts. They are not ready for the heat. You see, the difference between those two people are what they did in the off season. You see, the winners, the guys that show up ready to roll, they're the ones rocking it in the off season. They're the ones putting in the work. As I told Grant, they are grinding in the off season to shine and get that glory in season. But you can't get the glory, you can't shine in the in season unless you're willing to sweat and work and compete in the off season. And so in training camp, you see immediately the guys that were grinding in the off season, they're ready to go. The guys that went easy in the offseason, they're puking. They're anything but ready for the games and for the practices and for the heat. And so each one of us as competitors, we've got to be willing to grind through the offseason. We've got to be willing to work in the shadows when no one's watching, when the work is easy, but it's monotonous and it's rejection-filled and it's not fun. It's not fun constantly sending emails and outreach and follow-ups. It's fun being on stages, but you see, you can't get on the stages. You can't do the work that matters and impacts unless you do the work that gets you there. You can't lift all the weights unless you start to lift a weight and start building up your strength. So keep that in mind. If you're in the middle of that off season, if you feel like you're going through all the rejections, all the pain points, and man, success just continues to elude you, keep at it. Keep working, keep hustling after that off season because, man, that time is coming. And the longer you stick with it, the closer you're going to be. But the sooner you quit and give up, the farther away that goal is. So stick with it, keep competing. Don't let that off season grind keep you from getting that in season glory.